welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name is Elaine. Welcome. Today I am going to give you my top 8 tips for losing weight and keeping it off. Now, I have been in the fitness space for about 5 years. When I first started, I was only focusing on strength training and just building muscle for the first 2 years. Then I had a lung tumor and had some hospital experiences, gained some weight, all of that, and started more so looking at my nutrition and just focusing on my long-term health outcomes. Because although a nice body is great to have, there's nothing wrong with that goal. Long term, I want to be around, I want to have a family, and I want to grow old. I want to be on this earth for as long as humanly possible. And that can only be done if I reduce my risk to chronic disease. Now, speaking of chronic diseases, in my family, we have high blood pressure, heart attacks, and diabetes. All diet induced, unfortunately. So it does not, genetically, it does not bode well for me. So I'm trying to do everything I can from a younger age to mitigate the long-term chances of me getting these diseases by taking care of my health now. Now, I am not a doctor. I am not a nutritionist. I am not a kinesiologist, and I am not a trainer. However, I do have a master's of public health in a completely unrelated field, but I do know how to read scientific literature. I know how to understand it. I mean, after 6 years of scientific schooling, I would hope so. Otherwise, I wasted a lot of money. So I do like to approach things from more of a science-based perspective. And the stuff that I'm going to tell you is not just pulled out of my ass. Believe it or not, it's not. I have read it. I have found studies that support it from credible sources like PubMed, and I have applied it and tested it on myself. So I am hoping that some of these tips, if not all, will help you in some way, shape, or form. Keep in mind that everyone is individual. Something that worked for me might not work for you, and that is completely okay. But I hope these tips do help some of you. Now, without further ado, let's get started. Please like and subscribe if you find this video useful, or if you just think I'm cute. Okay, let's go. Okay, if you're going to watch any part of this video, watch for the first 2 tips. The first tip that I'm going to give you is you need to go into this with the proper mindset. And by that, I need you to understand this is not a quick process. You're not going to wake up one day with a brand new body. It does not work like that. I wish it did. Believe me, everyone wishes it did. Everyone wishes there was a magic pill. Everyone wishes that they could have their dream body in a month, in a day, in a week, in a month. That's not how it works. The body takes time to adapt. So go into this knowing that you are not going to see results immediately. For most people, it takes maybe 3-ish weeks to physically see the results of their weight loss journey. You might start seeing the number on the scale go down. You might start feeling your clothes shift around a little bit, but physically, before you start noticing the difference, it might start taking about 3 weeks. So don't give up in the first week. Don't give up in the second week. Don't give up in the first month. Stay the course. Trust the process. And if you're going through it and you notice, I'm not losing weight, either by the scale, whatever measurements you're taking, or I've gained weight, then you need to go back and reevaluate your tactics. But don't go into it thinking that you're going to be perfect. No one is perfect. You are looking for progress. If you are on track one week and then you fall off on a weekend or a weekday, you get back up and you keep going. We are looking for progress, not perfection. That is the only way that you're going to make this into a lifestyle change instead of a quick crash diet. Your mindset is everything, and I'm going to say that until that day I die. If you go into this knowing that it is not going to be quick, you reduce your chances of feeling frustrated. You reduce your chances of being like, F this, I'm out, I'm gonna go back to what I was doing previously. And it just makes you feel less disappointed when you don't see week after week after week, like consistent drops, your body takes time to adapt. One week you might lose a pound, the next week you might lose nothing, then the next week you're gonna be like, why am I down now like 3 pounds? The body fluctuates. Let it do its thing and let the process take its course. Tip number 2, you need to be in a caloric deficit. A calorie is a unit of energy. When we say the calories in, it is saying the energy that you get from food going into your body. And when we say calories out, it is the amount of energy that you have burned. Now, there's the saying, calories in versus calories out. When your calories in and your calories out are equal, you stay the same weight or you maintain. When your calories in is greater than your calories out, you gain weight because you're not burning all of it off. And then when your calories in is less than your calories out, meaning that you are burning off more energy than you're taking in, you lose weight. And this is called the caloric deficit. To create this deficit, you can do it in 2 ways. You can look at your nutrition and look at your diet, assess your diet. You can cut out sugary drinks. You can decrease the amount of junk food that you eat, especially if you're someone who orders food out quite frequently. Start cooking at home. If you're already cooking at home and you're still gaining weight, you might want to look at the amount of, let's say, oils that you're using in your food. Are you using a lot of fatty foods such as cheese? Not to demonize fats whatsoever, but fats do have a higher caloric content and they are easier to overconsume. So if you are home cooking and you're still gaining weight, you can also look at snacks. Are you a snacker? I'm a snacker. I love snacks. I purposely schedule snacks into my day to prevent me from literally just going into the cabinets and eating whatever. But there are a lot of people who don't realize how quickly your snacks add up, especially when you don't portion out your chips. A bag of chips usually is not meant to be consumed in one sitting. If you look at the serving size on the back, usually there might be anywhere from 5 to 10 servings in one bag, but some people will go through it all in one go. So if you're a big snacker, that might be an area that you need to work at. And if you're snacking to the point where you're like, I can't stop, then it might be time to look at the snacks in your house and get rid of them and or switch them out for lower calorie, healthier alternatives. Fruit and veggies always make a great alternative. If you are not creating a calorie deficit through your nutrition, you can also do it through physical activity. This would be by, getting in 10,000 steps a day. If you want to go on the treadmill like an insane person, I'm just kidding. Go for it. If you want to go for a jog, you want to go hiking, you want to go biking, whatever exercise that you like, you can pick whatever physical activity you want, and you can create a caloric deficit with physical activity. If you are brand new to the whole weight loss sphere, what do I recommend you do? Look at your nutrition. It'll make the biggest difference. And I say this because even if you are going for a walk every single day, or let's say that 1 month you're like, I am going to go run on the treadmill for an hour every single day. And let's say you end up falling off the treadmill at the end of the month and you break your leg and you can't, this is morbid, and you can't, do your exercise anymore to create the caloric deficit. You're going to end up gaining the weight back. And because you didn't work on your nutrition hasn't changed, and you might actually end up, gaining a bit more. You'll end up overshooting. So look at your nutrition first. The food is the thing that you always have around you, usually, especially if you're at home. And then add on the exercise later once you are good with your nutrition. If you can do both at the same time, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Get at it. But if you are just like, okay, I want to start out slow and I want to get one thing down right from the beginning, look at your diet. Now, people will say it's not just calories in and calories out. Your nutrition quality matters too. Absolutely, your nutrition quality matters. When you look at people who overconsume junk food, even though you can lose weight eating junk food, if you ate McDonald's burgers every single day and you decided, okay, every single day I'm just going to eat one less McDonald's burger, you would lose weight. Why? Because you're in a caloric deficit. You're eating less than you currently are. Is it a good idea? No, not the best. Studies have linked, overconsumption of processed foods, especially sugary foods, to increased rates of depression, anxiety. It can affect your hormones and long-term health outcomes. You're still predisposing yourself to getting diabetes, high blood pressure, all of this as you age. So having a diet that is more composed of whole foods when you're in your caloric deficit is always recommended. You don't have to do everything at once. Just start off getting the concept of, okay, I need to consume less than I currently am, even if that means, having one less slice of pizza a day, whatever you currently do. Just start with small changes and they will add up. Tip number 3 is pretty much just a continuation on the exercise component of tip number 2, strength training. When you start strength training, especially when you start with newbie gains, the first year or two that you start lifting weights, for every pound of muscle that you put on, you actually start burning 30 to 50 more calories. It's individual, just by having the muscle on your body. Now, this might not sound like a lot, but as you progress and you put on more muscle, you your body naturally creates the caloric deficit because muscle does take more energy to maintain than fat on your body. So not only are you increasing the calories that you burn because you are exercising, as you build muscle, you are actually essentially increasing your metabolism. If you haven't thought about strength training yet, or you haven't taken it very seriously, it does have a component in your weight loss journey. It does not need to necessarily be your main focus if it's just not something that you enjoy. But if it's something that you've thought about, then yeah, definitely look into it. It's fun. It's a good stress reliever. I love the endorphins you get from strength training. Love it. Tip number 4, stay hydrated. Your body is composed 65% of water. It is very vital to your survival. But actually, there was a study done, I believe, on middle-aged women. When they ended up increasing their water intake, did absolutely nothing else, did not change their diet, did not start exercising more. When they only increased their water intake, they ended up burning more calories. They actually ended up losing weight. This is due to the fact that when you consume more water, it actually increases your caloric expenditure, meaning that even as you're just going about your normal day, just metabolizing, digesting, all of this, you end up burning more calories. But apart from that, if you start consuming more water, especially before your meals, it can make you feel more full. If you start consuming water in place of sugary drinks, well, you are losing the calories from the sugary drinks, from the pops that you consume. So you create a caloric deficit in that sense, and it can help you lose weight. If you're someone who's just like, water is boring, try sparkling water. Add water flavorings like Mio or Tang into your water, the little squeeze bottles. I drink those all the time. Add lemon to your water, cucumber, whatever gets more water into your body is good. Now, if you're wondering, how do I know how much water is enough? A lot of people, there's that kind of the arbitrary, 64 ounces or 8 glasses of water a day is enough to get you hydrated. For someone my size, I actually get hydrated very quickly. I consume more water than the average person my size, just because I do work out quite a bit. I mean, I work out anywhere from 2 to 3 hours a day, depending on how much cardio I feel like doing. Zumba sessions, guys. But if you want to know if you are hydrated enough, when you go pee, and this was told to me by my doctor, it's not a weird thing. When you go pee, look at the color. If you have clear pee with like a tinge of yellow, you're hydrated. You are good to go. If you're peeing like completely just clear, that's when you know you're overhydrated. And if it's like bright ass yellow, you need to start drinking more water. So, cheers. Tip number 5. Either consume more fiber or more fats to stay full within your calorie deficit. This is a tip for making sure that you feel full. Apart from, increasing your fiber content or increasing your fat content, you can also look for low calorie, high density foods. A lot of people will automatically go to spinach and salads like that, but yes, that's pretty much what it is. They're very low calorie. You can consume a lot of it without breaking the diet bank, essentially. But apart from salads, because I think there's a good 4 or 5 months of my dieting where I was just like, I'm over salads, but I was still able to find meals that were satiating. And that was mainly due to me increasing my fiber intake, and that's more recently. I don't do a high fat diet anymore, and I'll explain that. But for me, fiber does the trick. When you do start increasing your fiber intake, expect to be bloated and be going to the bathroom more frequently than you would like. But once your body does adjust, it is very, very great for just slowing down your digestion, actually having the food move through your body slower, and giving you the feeling of being full. Now, you can get fiber naturally from the foods you eat, such as blackberries, blueberries have a high fiber content. Most fruits and vegetables have some sort of fiber content. I also have a fiber supplement that I will sometimes take if my fiber intake is going to be low. And that the inulin fiber is what it's called. You can actually bake with it, cook with it, whatever you want. So if you're trying to increase the fiber content of any food, you can add the fiber supplement. Fats are another way to make you feel full. A lot of people, if you go on the keto diet, people will say, oh my God, I feel so full. And that's because fats naturally are very satiating. However, fats also do have a higher caloric intake. If you're wondering, the keto diet works because if the keto diet is not magic. It does not it does not magically just, oh my God, because I'm on the keto diet, I'm going to lose weight. Same with the intermittent fasting. Any diet, any fad diet, paleo, whole 50, like all of these diets, you lose weight on them because they create a caloric deficit. With the keto diet, you end up creating a caloric deficit because you are feeling full. So naturally, you are going to consume less unless you do have, let's say, a binge eating disorder where you just keep over consuming. You can gain weight on the keto diet just like you can gain weight on any diet if you end up intaking more calories than you need. But fats in general are very satiating. That is why you will get full on pizza. But for me, high fat diet does not work. I get super bloated. I have bathroom problems. It's not a good time. So find what works for your body. It's kind of fun. My family, I can have a lot of fiber. My mom cannot. It will actually do to her what fat does to me. So everybody's body is different. We're related, but have 2 completely different diets, and that is a-okay. What works for me might not work for you. What works for your friend might not work for you. Play around with it and find ways to make yourself feel full, because then long term you're more likely to adhere to your diet. Tip number 6, take breaks. Specifically, take diet breaks. Now you might be wondering what the hell I'm talking about. I'm going to approach this more from a psychological point. When you do start eating less than you are used to, or less than you would like, because honestly we just like eating more food. I like eating more food for sure. But when you do start decreasing your calories, whether you want to call it restriction, whatever you're at, mentally it can be really taxing. Honestly, if weight loss was easy, everyone would do it. It's not the easiest process in the world. It's really not. It can be very mentally taxing. So diet breaks have been studied. They have been studied and shown to have great adherence outcomes in terms of actually being consistent with the diet and sticking to it long term. There are multiple ways you can do it. You could be, let's say, in your caloric deficit for 2 weeks, and then go off the diet for 2 weeks. And by go off the diet, I don't mean that you go out every single day to Wendy's or McDonald's or what have you. It just means that you go to eating at a slight caloric surplus, or just go back to your maintenance calories. So you're still eating healthy. You keep the same eating habits that you had in your caloric deficit. You might just be adding in a little extra egg in the morning, or maybe having an extra slice of turkey bacon, what have you. Mentally, it's a great thing. It is a very great thing. You get to take a break. You might, go out for dinner with your friends. Not that you should have been able to do that previously. You should have been doing that previously regardless. But it can help with the feeling of like, oh my God, I have to be on this diet for 5, 6, 8, 10 months, a year. Now you can go on for 2 weeks, take a break. You're good? Okay, then let's get back on the diet. Don't treat this as your cheat day. Guys, I am going to reiterate this. Do not go all out if you take a diet break. I take diet breaks here and there. At this point, I'm so used to dieting. Once you lose weight once, it's just kind of like, okay, I can do it again. I'm so used to just being like, okay, this is part of my lifestyle, that I can go months at a time without needing a break. But I actually have to consciously force myself to be like, okay, let's go and eat at maintenance for a bit and just kind of take a break, or let's not track for a week or so. So I will go 2 or 3 weeks on a diet, and then I will take a week off. It's actually really hard to take a week off because I'm so used to my routine. So yes, if you're feeling mentally taxed in your new lifestyle, in your transition to a new lifestyle, then take a break. It is completely okay. Just, slight caloric increase. We're not going to Wendy's and Arby's every single night. Just having a slight caloric increase, and you'll be good. Tip number 7. Moderation is your best friend. Now, I'm assuming that if you're watching me, you're not a competitor. You're just someone who's trying to live a healthier lifestyle, do your thing. I would hope if you're an athlete that you are talking to your coach and not listening to me, unless you just think I'm cute. Hey. But moderation is going to be your best friend. And by this, I mean you should eat a relatively healthy diet. Keep your fruits and veggies in there, reduce your sugar intake, all of those good things. But you should not feel like because of your new lifestyle, you can't go out and enjoy food with your friends and family. You can go out to events and still live life. But hopefully from a healthier perspective, a healthier standpoint. If you go out to a restaurant, you might be looking at the menu, and instead of going for the fish and chips like you usually do, my favorite, you might go for the chicken breast, and instead of getting your usual rice, you might order a side of veggies. You can carry over what you are learning in your new lifestyle into the eating experiences that you have out. Now, I'm someone who tracks calories, so for me, it's very easy to be like on MyFitnessPal. The nice thing about MyFitnessPal, a lot of restaurants actually, their items are already loaded into the thing, so I can be like, oh, I still want to go eat out what I want to eat on track or within my calories that I have for the day or for the week, and I will literally just be like, ooh, this sounds yummy, and it's within my calories, and pick that meal, and it's said and done. But that's just me. I do it because I like it. That's something I find joy in. I actually really do like tracking. I'm a numbers person. You don't have to complicate it. If you want to go out and have a night out with the girls, the guys, your family, your child, whatever, if your kid wants to go for ice cream, go with them. The new lifestyle does not have to prevent you from enjoying the activities that you want to do, but just approach them from a healthier viewpoint, hopefully from a new perspective as you do go through your journey. Moderation will help you adhere to your new lifestyle longer, or will help you adhere to your diet and eventually turn it into a lifestyle. And tip number 8, drum roll please. Keep it simple. Straight up, that's not the number 1 tip, but it's something that I feel like needs to be reiterated, because when you go into the YouTube hole, you can get so much information, and I struggled with that at the beginning of like trying to do 10 million things at once. Oh my god, I should be carb cycling, god fucking, should be carb cycling, should be intermittent fasting. How do I carb cycle while I'm doing intermittent fasting? When should I be taking my protein before my workouts? Guys, keep it simple. Start with one thing, especially if you're someone who gets overwhelmed easily. Do one thing, you made the change, then make sure that the change is actually working. Revisit it, whether you are going to be weighing yourself every single week, every single day, taking measurements, take progress pics. You will never regret taking a progress pic, ever. Take progress pics and just pay attention to how your body is responding as you are going through this. If you go into your caloric deficit and you are feeling extreme hunger, especially like after the first week, that's a sign that you need to increase the amount of calories you're eating. Guys, I know that when you start your weight loss journey and you start seeing progress, you want to see it faster. No, for a healthy long-term weight loss, you want to be losing about 0.5 to 2 pounds a week at maximum. The slower, the better, the longer you will adhere to it. So don't just drastically drop down your calories and expect your body to be okay, because the adaptation process for your body will be hell, and mentally it will be exhausting on you, and then you'll probably want to quit because you hate your life. So keep it simple, don't go too extreme. I am going to put the link to the calorie calculator that I use by Legion Athletics. Actually I still use it, I've been using it for 3 years on and off. It is not accurate. No calorie calculator is accurate. No Fitbit, no tracker, nothing is like 100% accurate, but it's a good starting point, and you can decide whatever you want to do with that information, whether you want to track or whether you just kind of want to intuitively eat but be more mindful when you're eating. That's completely okay too. So you made it to the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching through the entirety of it, and or you just skipped, whichever one. But I really hope that some of these tips helped you, gave you some new ideas, maybe it just refreshed your memory. But I hope you find something that works for you in your journey, and always remember that your mindset is everything. It plays such an important part in helping you stay the course when you're trying to make a lifestyle change. Please like and subscribe if you found my content useful, and drop your comments down below if you have content ideas. Tell me your favorite tips. Tell me the fad diets that you have tried. I remember I tried intermittent fasting and it worked for a little bit, but for me, long term, it wasn't sustainable. So let me know down below, what fad diets have you tried? What has worked? What has failed, what has worked and failed, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Now, there's 2 videos above. Pick one of them and go watch. Bye.